situation WASPI women find themselves in. Throughout their working lives, they were promised that, in return for their taxes and national insurance, they would receive a pension and that they would receive it from the age of 60. Women have built lives around the expectation that the UK government would be as good as its word. For women who have already been working upwards of 25 years, to be told at the age of 55 that rather than work for another 5 years, that they're going to have to work twice that long is hard enough. But to exacerbate matters, WASPI women have not been notified in sufficient time to put alternative arrangements in place. As we've already heard today, some have not been notified at all. It would appear that the changes have been introduced by UK government with scant, if any, consideration of the impact on the women concerned. The Turner Commission said that the notice period should be 15 years, Saga said 10 years. It seems the UK government ignored them as well. And we're not talking about highly paid women here. We're talking about women who have suffered wage inequality throughout their working lives in the first place. Women whose work is likely to have been underpaid in relation to its value to society, such as those retired WASPI nurses on whose backs the NHS was built. We're also talking about women who were unlikely to be able to afford a private pension. I'm sure that the Welsh Government will remind us all that the powers necessary to rectify this injustice sit in Westminster and not Cardiff Bay, and of course they would be right. However, foreign military action is no more devolved than his pension provision. And if the First Minister can let the world know that he backs bombing Syria, he can let the UK Government know in no uncertain terms what the Welsh Government thinks about the injustice being perpetrated on WASPI women in Wales. He can also work with UK Government to find a solution. Perhaps Labour feel they can ignore this inequality because the women affected won't make as much noise as the media and sports stars seeking equality. Or maybe there aren't enough of them to make a difference to Labour's electoral calculations. Yet these are the voiceless workers Labour say they're there to serve, to fight for. But it would seem that the Welsh Government have done nothing, absolutely nothing. The Labour amendment replacing the words work with the UK Government to urge the UK Government is an example of their doing nothing. It's easy to urge others to take action, and by doing so they make the right noises and wave the right flag. But if you want to help the WASPI women of Wales, you have to be prepared to take action yourselves. The only thing my party can do in this place for WASPI women is to propose this motion and lobby. But the Welsh Labour Government has the machinery and the communications channels to bring pressure to bear on the UK Government to act fairly on this matter. A bridging pension and or compensation for those already at retirement age is the only meaningful way to right this wrong. And I really hope that you all agree with me here. Compensation to the beneficiaries of affected estates, I'm sorry, I'm really wound up about this, is unquestionably the right thing to do. As I said at the beginning, WASPI women have been cynically betrayed by their government. And finally, whilst I appreciate that the Welsh Government cannot legislate itself to rectify this wrong, Welsh WASPI women are looking to the Welsh Government to go to work on the UK Government on their behalf as hard as they're working to achieve other, more international goals. Anything less is simply not enough, and I urge all members to back this motion today. Thank you.
Thank you. John Barton.